What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I hope you like this video. This is The Circle, Atlanta, season 1, episode 5. I believe he said, she said. So listen, I know it's been a long time, but they still at the damn brunch arguing. Okay, they still there. Okay. Um, Melly and Jewel got done arguing at some point, and so we decided we were gonna work our way around the room or around the table and see what everybody has going on. So we got brunches, we have ratchet like virtual ratchet rooms, we have meet and greets, we have talent shows. Everybody look like they doing a little something something. Then they get the Melly. Melly like, I ain't doing shit. I'm just here. I ain't doing nothing. And I think he's gonna like he gonna do something later on. But in that moment, he was like, I don't have nothing going on. I ain't doing nothing. Okay. So then, Dante brings up to Martell about what was allegedly said about whether he thought Melly was cute or not. And Martell was like, what? That's not what I said. That's just not how that happened. And it was really a game of telephone because Martell thought that Dante and Melly were a couple. And when Martell said it to Dante, Dante's reaction, he ain't say, no, I ain't messing with that ugly dude. But his face said, no, I ain't messing with that ugly dude. So Martell didn't quite, that's not what Martell said. But somehow or another, by the time it got through 4-5 people and it got through the telephone chain, that's what was repeated. And Dante was like, I didn't say that. I don't want it to be said that I said that. I ain't never say that man was ugly. Me and him cool. We friends. We not dating. We not seeing each other. But that's it. That's all. Now, the whole time that this is going on, you hear Mulatto. If I said your name wrong, charge it to my head, not my heart. Over on the sideline talking about how much she got peed. I heard her say it about 4-5 times my damn self, right? And I don't know if they wanted her to wait until the scene was done or she was scared she was going to miss something. But I heard her say about 3-4 times how much she had to go to the bathroom. She got peed, she got peed, she got peed. So after they get done clearing that up, then Rico decides that he got something he need to clear up. So he was like, listen, it was brought to my attention that Martell, you and Tevin were talking about me behind my back, and basically y'all insinuated that I was, being a drama, being dramatic and doing a little bit too much when we were down to the ACTV event. And instead of addressing what Rico said was said, everybody want to know who said it. I can't stand that. I don't like that. If I'm bringing a problem to you, if I'm bringing a concern or issue to you, it doesn't fucking matter who said it. Either you said it or you didn't. Now, if you didn't say it, that's another conversation. Now, I need to go back and address who bought me some bullshit. But if you said it, let's address what was said. And Martell and Tevin want to know, well, who said it, who said it. And Rico tried not to say who said it. He tried to sidestep it and two-step and everything else. But eventually he finally said, well, listen, the person ain't here. And they were like, well, okay, they not here. Well, who said it? So finally he said it was Mulatto. So conveniently, this is when, I feel like I'm saying her name wrong, but this is when she had got up to go to the bathroom, finally, after she had been needing to go for a whole, for a minute. Well, they, got into it or whatever, and Rico was like, I just have a problem with, like, can y'all not understand that when y'all were talking, and it was your, when y'all were up there on stage and y'all were talking, we gave you the respect. When y'all got off stage, then all of a sudden, excuse me, then all of a sudden, y'all backstage, y'all laughing and joking and y'all being loud. And even after I asked y'all to calm down or bring the voices down, y'all was still being disrespectful and being rude. And I felt some kind of way about it. Like, I really felt some kind of way about it. Now, I really feel like what Rico was saying, I don't understand why they couldn't receive what he was saying. But it seemed like in the moment, I feel like they heard him. I do feel like they heard him. But I feel like it was sort of like, he doing too much while he tripping kind of thing, right? So then, they had a little photo shoot, whatever, whatever, and then everybody's sort of mingling. Everybody just kind of mingling around. So we saw Tevin pull Mr. Dante to the side because he said Dante is a cutie, and I wouldn't mind taking him out on a little datey date. So he pulls him aside and he invites him out on a date, and Dante was like, "Oh, that'd be cool. Yeah, we can go out on a date." He was like, "Maybe we go to the drive-through." And Tevin was like, "Oh, that's cute. That's a cute little situation, little drive-through." He was like, "Yeah, maybe we can hang out a little bit. Get to know each other. Get some head." Where they do that at? First of all, who says that? Like, yeah, that'd be a cool first date. I don't know you, you don't know me. We can go to a drive-in. You can give me some head. Because I'm sure that's what he meant. So now, of course, Tevin was like, the fuck? Like, no, that's not what's getting ready to happen. That's not how this is getting ready to go down. Ain't nobody giving nobody no head, sir. This is a first date. And he was like, oh, so you don't be having sex? Tevin was like, well, I do when I'm in a situation where we've kind of connected emotionally. Like, I'm not just out here all willy-nilly just sleeping with anybody. That's not what I'm doing. And so, Dante was like, oh, really? And you could tell that immediately he probably was no longer interested once Tevin was like, yeah, ain't nothing about to go down in the backseat of the car down to the drive-in. So Melly sort of floats over, and Melly was like, oh, y'all talking about dates and stuff. Oh, I don't have nothing to do with this. But it ended up being a three-way conversation with Dante, Tevin, and Melly. And Melly was like, no, we just friends. And Dante patted Melly, and Melly patted Dante. And child, it was listen. And Melly was there listening. He was ear hustling. But I feel like Dante, once you said something about getting head, I feel like that conversation was pretty much over. And once Melly realized what they were talking about, he was like, yeah, I really don't have nothing to do with this. And Dante kept saying, you can stay. We friends, you can stay. And finally, Melly was like, nope, I don't have nothing to do with this. Like, y'all can talk, but I don't have nothing to do with this. And like I said, I think by the time Melly got up and walked away, I think Tevin was done with the conversation too. Dante, sir, I don't know what's going on with you, sir. Then we had Mulatto having a conversation with Rico, and Rico was like, listen, it wasn't no shade. I wasn't trying to, I really wasn't trying to call your name, but that's, the conversation just sort of flowed that way. And she was upset by that. Like, she was like, because I felt some kind of way, because then it made me look shady. It made it, the timing made it seem like I got up to leave just as y'all were getting ready to talk about that. And it made it look shady on my part. Wait a minute, hold on. Yeah. It made it look shady on my part. And I didn't like that. Like, I just didn't like the way that looked. It just was a bad look. Then Melly talked to, oh shoot, what's her name? Y'all, I had to wait a month for this. I don't remember these people's names. The singer from New York that was in the group from New York, the singer. Anyway, her and Melly talked, and Melly was like, I felt some kind of way about the way Jewel, made it seem like there was going to be a problem, wanting to know where you mixed and who you were and all of that. And she was like, yeah, I was a little taken aback too, but I'm kind of, just wait and see how that plays out or whatever, So then, what else happened down? Because this was the longest damn brunch I ever seen in my life. Y'all did a whole lot of. Y'all had the pre-brunch, then you had the brunch, then you had the discussion after the brunch, then you had the mix and mingle after the discussion after the brunch. It was a lot. There was like an all-day commitment situationship with the brunch. But neither here nor there. We saw Rico and her talk too, because remember, she knew Rico from Rico used to do female impersonation, and that kind of thing. So that was the brunch. Lord Jesus, we finally done with that. Lord, jeez, Monini. So then we saw Martell. Nope, it was not Martell. Then we saw Melly having a conversation with keep wanting to say mulatto, and I keep feeling like that's wrong. And she was sort of rehashing to him how upset she was by the way that whole thing went down. And she felt like, she felt disrespected, by Rico, that he would call her name after she wasn't there. And she felt some kind of way about it. And Melly tried to tell her, listen, that's not how it went down. Rico really tried to not call your name. They wouldn't let it go. And Rico was really trying to put it on them. And she was like, I don't care what they did. Rico didn't have to say my name. It made me look shady. It made it look like I stepped away knowing what was getting ready to be said. And it made me look some kind of way, and I didn't like it. I didn't appreciate it. And he was like, no, Rico really didn't mean nothing by it. He really, really was trying to keep it about what his beef was. They were the ones that took it there. And so she said, I don't like it. I thought Rico was cool, but at this point, I don't have nothing to say to him no more. I'm done with it. Matter of fact, I think I'm even ready to quit. Melly was like, child, you about to quit over that. You ain't seen nothing yet. Like, it gets deeper. Because, Melly, he go, he done reality. He know that the shit get deeper than that. He was like, you ain't about to quit over nothing like that. I ain't gonna let you quit over nothing like that. And then he was saying, he was talking again about Jewel and how he felt about Jewel and that whole situation. And what else? Was it something else that Melly had a problem with? I don't know, child. So that was that conversation. Then we get to the show within the show. Mr. Cash De Niro, listen. When y'all gonna tell Cash he on this show? When are y'all gonna tell Cash he on this circle? He said he on the circle, but when are y'all gonna tell him he on this circle? Because again, we have a whole 10-minute scene with Cash by his damn self. Cash down at the club, flirting with the people. They played a whole damn song of Cash performing, which the song was kind of cute too. Cash performed the whole song down to the club. He got on stage. He did his song. He said, thank you, God bless, good night. And that was the end of it. And he exited stage left. And we didn't see his ass no more this episode. When y'all gonna let him know he on this show? I feel like he found out next week, because I think in the previews we see him with the other people. But we 6 episodes in. Anyway. Then we get to see Martell with his boyfriends. He shared with us before that he is in a poly relationship. So we got a little bit more information. We talked about this when I interviewed him. Y'all go back and look at the interview I did with Martell. But he talked about how they were already a married couple and he met them and then they became a throuple. And I appreciate what I saw in this scene, because he was upset with him and Q were talking, and they were talking about the premiere, the premiere event. And Q couldn't come because Q had to work. But the other boyfriend didn't come because he didn't have the right shoes to wear. And Martell was saying, I know you couldn't come because you had to work, and that's fine. But the other boyfriend didn't come, but I'll talk to him about that. And what I can appreciate is that he didn't turn it into, this is a us situation. This is a me and him situation. And when I see him, I want to talk to him about the me and him situation and not bring you into it and turn this into a whole situation with us. So I can really appreciate that. I could really appreciate that it didn't turn into a whole 3-way thing. But he did talk to him. The third boyfriend came home a few minutes later, and he did address it. He did talk to him about it, and he was like, listen, yeah, like I felt some kind of way about that. Like, I don't really ask a lot. Like, we got this whole 3-way boyfriend situation going, and I don't really feel like I ask a lot of y'all, but I do ask for y'all to support me in the things that I do. And I felt some kind of way about the fact that I had this whole premiere. You knew about it. You didn't show up. And not only did you not show up, I didn't know you weren't coming until I called you. And when I called you, you talking about these shoes you need. And you looking for the shoes. And I didn't understand why that was a whole, like, you not coming shouldn't have been because your wardrobe situation, But the boyfriend apologized, even though I don't feel like he fully understood where Martell was coming from. And I don't feel like he fully took responsibility for it being his fault. He just made it seem like it was a miscommunication. But I don't feel like it was a miscommunication. I feel like you ain't come because you ain't had the shoes you wanted to wear. That's not a miscommunication. But I'm on the outside looking in. Okay. Um, but definitely they resolved it. It didn't turn into no whole fight argument situation. So again, I can appreciate that y'all were able to talk it out without it turning into, you know, World War III up in that piece. And it was, it was a conversation. We had a work scene with Melly B. It's funny to see Melly B in work mode because he is straight up on work mode. Like, he was serious. He wasn't cracking no jokes. He wasn't being silly. He wasn't doing all of the, shenanigans that we saw him. He definitely is I separate work and, I separate business and pleasure. Like, this is work and that's business. I said this is work and that's business. This is work and that's pleasure. Like, it is absolutely not the same thing. He's working with an artist out of Miami and out of Florida. And he didn't have to tell me he was from Florida. The minute he opened his mouth and I saw them goddamn gold teeth, I knew he was from Florida. Anyway, but yeah, so that was a cute work scene. So then we saw Rico meeting up with Mulatto down to the venue where he's going to have his event. And he was like, oh my goodness, this is perfect. I love her. She is on top of her thing. But of course, she was upset with him. Now, what I could appreciate is that she had calmed down and she ain't cussed him out. She ain't had no nasty attitude. She just told him, listen, I got a problem with you and we need to talk about it. So they sat down and they talked. And while they were talking, Tevin showed up. And Rico was like, perfect. I'm glad you're here. Let's all three of us talk this out. And let's all three of us talk about what happened and what didn't happen. So they had the conversation or whatever. And again, Rico did apologize, even though in his confessionals, he was like, oh my goodness. Like, I feel like I had, I said what I said. I apologized. I'm not about to sit here and apologize for the next 20 minutes. I didn't mean nothing by it. I didn't mean it in no kind of way. It wasn't meant to be no problem with no attitude or nothing like that. You stepped away. I tried not to say your name. I said your name, but it's not that serious. And I mean, at the end of the day, I understand exactly where she's coming from, but you literally came back to the table 5 minutes later and you could have cleared your name up or addressed it or whatever. But I do understand her beef. I do. I absolutely understand where she's coming from. Tevin apologized. His thing was, listen, if that's how you felt, that's how you felt. I can't tell you you were wrong for how you felt, and that's basically it. So I'm acknowledging your point of view on it. I really don't care whether you see my point of view on it or not, and can we move on? And I feel like they are. I feel like they said it, they cleared the air, and they have moved on. So that is episode number 5, y'all. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Drop it in them comments, y'all. Peace.